Hey folks, Phil Gallagher here for round 1 of daily D&T this week. It looks like we have won the die roll. So again, we're playing with a relatively stock list that just has a Spicy Brightling in the main deck and an Elspeth Sun's Nemesis in the sideboard. We have a pretty good hand here that has a great starting Vile Curve of Mom into Thalia. Let's see if we can get this to resolve. He speaks, and it doesn't happen. Alright, so force pitching a Snapcaster Mage, so we're probably playing against some fair blue deck, maybe some sort of like Miracles, Mess, could be some sort of Grixis or Bug control deck. But I'll lean towards some Miracles-esque deck at this time, and we'll probably just be slamming Thalia on our next turn. It gets slightly more interesting if our draw for turn is either Vile or Caracas. But it is not, so we'll just play out the Thalia. Force, pitch, predict. So now it could be Miracles, could be High Tide. Probably Miracles with Portman. Okay. Our hand is god-awful versus Miracles now. Our two cards that would be good against Miracles have both been countered. That's not amazing. So I'm going to go ahead and play out the Mom first. It works less towards mana efficiency, but if my opponent has a Swords to Plowshares, they might use it on this rather than do something scarier. I haven't seen an actual factual counterbalance in quite some time. Council's Judgment. So I don't yet know if my opponent has green, so I'm not going to just name Oko without taking any other actions. Hey, there's a Jace that we've preemptively shut off. That's great, until Snapcaster Swords to Plowshares happens. Alright, am I going to equip this Jitte? And crash in. Every creature I play to the board makes me softer to Terminus. So let's see what we can do with one resolved creature here. Alright. Don't mind that as a draw at all. Pump. Absolutely pump again. Nice. So now I can choose to play a Stoneforge Mystic, but I think I'm just going to Rashad Port and port down that Tundra. Just make it harder for my opponent to remove this. I know that they have a Council's Judgment in hand which can remove my Revoker. So we are just going to try to play around threats. Predict, target themselves. That's fine. No. This exact situation is why you split your planes. XJ Cloud. I know that one didn't target me, but it very easily could have targeted me. And in fact, with my opponent not knowing what was on the top of their library, it would have been better for them to target me. Alright, so again, we are just going to continue porting down this Tundra and making it harder for my opponent to actually remove this Revoker. We've now stopped them from actually fetching. And recognizing that they might not have any more outs to the Revoker, they've conceded the game. Alright, so what do we have versus Miracles? I will Pithing Needle a Jace. I will play a Planeswalker. I'll play the thing that kills Planeswalkers. I'll play this thing that stops cool cards that my opponent plays. I will play Answers to Counterbalance, and maybe another Answer to Counterbalance. I don't know if my opponent is going to keep those in, but if they do, it can be very awkward for me. I will also, so Relic Order and Ballista are going to be in the pile of things that I consider. I don't know my opponent's exact build. I'm going to cut some or all of the Swords to Plowshares. I will probably trim Mother of Runes, and I will probably take the Jitte out of the deck. Crusader's also kind of medium. This would leave me at 61. Let's trim a land and stay threat dense. So while Walking Ballista may not look amazing, sometimes Miracle stabilizes at like literally 1 or 2 points of life, and being able to Recruiter for a Walking Ballista at the end of the game just lets you get those final points of damage in when they think that they're safe. It also can sometimes let you pick off a Snapcaster Mage, a Mentor, finish off a Jace. The card has real utility. Easy mulligan. Reluctant Keep. This hand's very bad if the Vial does not resolve. We have the right sort of cards. But as we saw last game, our opponent's very aggressive in Force of Willing in the early game. My opponent also may have like Disenchants or equivalent for post-sideboard games. Yep. I really got to stop talking about the things that are worst for me. I get a little bit of time to draw out of this naturally, but I think if I miss land for 2 turns, I'm probably dead. Thankfully, we are not there. I'm going to play this into a removal spell first, hoping that my Revoker actually gets to stick around and shut off a Jace at least temporarily. Wow, my opponent shuffled away a Monastery Mentor after they saw that I missed a land drop? That is an interesting decision. I'm not saying that's a wrong decision, but it's very interesting to me. It may mean that they have a very strong long-term plan for this hand, with like Planeswalkers and a bunch of removal. Definitely don't love my position right now. Like, yes, I have more cards than my opponent, but I can't utilize them well, and 2 of these cards are kind of a pair of dead cards for probably at least 4 turns. If not more. So here's the game of, do you name 1 or do you name 6? I think I'm going to go ahead and name 6. My opponent kept with that ponder. Could mean there's a terminus 1 or 2 cards down. Well, okay, didn't matter which one I named. Message received. That's going to be good. I need to cast a 3-drop this turn. I don't want to waste slime my opponent. I'm going to go ahead and play a Recruiter of the Guard. I'm going to go ahead and get Sanctum Prelate here. I'm not particularly in any hurry. And since I'm really limited on mana, I don't think I want to go for the Palace Jailer. This is another good reason not to go for the Jailer. So are all 4 Source of Plowshares sideboarded out? Yes, all 4 are sideboarded out. So I really would need to answer this via equipment. Or in some other capacity, invalidate the Mentor. I guess Sanctum Prelate on 1 does a ton of work in invalidating Mentor. But my opponent knows this is coming. A Council's Judgment here, or a Jace would be a bit of a beating. There we go. Zathalia is not bad. The Flicker Wisp on Recruiter is not bad. The issue is that, like, since I'm stuck on mana, it's hard for me to actually remove the Mentor. My options to remove the Mentor are at 4 mana, with either Walking Ballista on X equals 2 or Palace Jailer. Wow. So it feels like opponent has Jace. What do you think, YouTube? I think my opponent has Jace. So we'll stop Jace from just unsummoning whatever play it is that I make. But we are in real danger to just the Mentor tokens killing us. No, no, no! That is a very aggressive Council's Judgment. I mean, it's probably fine given how far ahead on tempo they are. But, really. So this is 3, 6, 9, 13. Yeah, I should not have any outs to that. Alright, so we got a little bit run over. Yes, I know you have the Jace. That's why it was very clearly telegraphed. You didn't have to show it to me. Okay, so now we've seen multiple Mentors. So I probably need to leave in about 2 Swords to Plowshares as an answer to it. So I saw a lot of potentially sideboard cards. So I saw a Council's Judgment, 2 Disenchants. So my Relic Order is, like, it's very possible and likely that Counterbalance has been boarded out. So I'm going to go ahead and put the Relic Order on the bench to get one of those in. Then, since my opponent has Supreme Verdict, my Mother of Runes actually get a bit worse. So let's board out another one of those. I would like to play first. This hand's pretty good. If the Vial resolves and sticks around, we have a very strong Vial play of like Thalia into Flicker Wisp, or more likely I might end up casting the Thalia on 2 anyway, even though I have the Vial, because casting Thalia on 2 protects the Vial from Disenchant on curve. That was a quick shuffle with that Ponder. My opponent may be land light after their mulligan. Accordingly, jam. Or alternatively, land heavy. Nice. Nice, 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 nice. Super happy to see that. Now I have a sticky threat. That's something you really want versus Miracles. So we lose the Vial, but we do have 4 points of power in play now. So the next question becomes, how aggro do I want to get with my hand? Because I can just make it so that I have my opponent on a 2-turn clock by playing out another threat. So I think that I probably want to do so. It's very bad for me if my opponent rips a Terminus, though. I'll get to bounce the Thalia, so I'll still have a threat, but I will get 2 for 1 instead of 1 for 1. But I think I'm going for it. Didn't get Terminus. I mean, super happy to see a Tundra that I can destroy. I guess the Council Judgment probably takes out the Thalia here. But I still just let it resolve. I don't take my pressure off the board in this circumstance. No need to wasteland on their turn. I can do it on my turn with no changes to my board. That's an amazing draw. Now we blow up that Tundra and just port down the plains to make it harder for a Terminus to give them a 2 for 1. I may just get Swords to Plowshare in response, but I do believe it is correct to just eliminate the possibility of getting Terminus to this turn. So the next question becomes, do I attack Revoker into a Snapcaster Mage? The Snapcaster Mage would be a 1 for 1. So yes, I think I will. Second main phase. Play out of Isle. You're going to continue to attack the white sources. The white sources will probably be the limiting factor in my opponent casting removal spells. Alright, and just like that, we got it. Felt like some old school Magic right there. Alright, I'll be back tomorrow with round 2.